So just some advance warning, in this video we're going to be getting very nerdy about fictional titles given to pretend video game characters. It's pretty much the most petty conversation you could ever have. So this could be a bug, but if it is perfectly implemented. At time of recording on the Shadowlands beta, the Gladiator title is permanent, account-wide, and retroactive. If you have ever had a Gladiator title, you can wear it on any character on the Shadowlands beta. This is in addition to account-wide Gladiator mounts that have already been announced. From what basic research I did, I couldn't find anyone talking about the title though. So we're going to take a second to discuss the implications of this change under the assumption that it is intentional. Should it be a bug? Just file all this under suggestion. Well, it's a fundamental shift in what Gladiator means. This is essentially an entirely new thing that is leveraging a loaded term to imbue itself with meaning. That is to say, this Gladiator title is not our Gladiator title. The old Gladiator title is an acknowledgement of current success. If you see someone with a Gladiator title on BFA, you know they're good at Arena right now. Unless they're a Destro Warlock. The mount and the achievement are the only permanent signs that you ever got Gladiator at all. And both those things very intentionally emphasize when they were earned. And all of this is character locked. With the exception of the achievement, you lose all trace of your gladiator-ness when you log on a different character. I just did like half the script to a idle camera. So I got Gladiator once as a Ret Paladin, very late into the season. And as a result, I got to wear the title for a total of about 3 weeks. And that is because, arguably, there are 3 weeks where I was good enough to be recognized for my ability. It's a brutal way to reward success, but it is, for lack of a better word, honest. As soon as circumstances changed, I was expected to earn the title over again. That imbues it with a ton of prestige, and I've forgotten the rest of the words to the script now. So yeah, that imbues the title with a ton of prestige for those who recognize it, because yeah, it's a huge pain in the ass to get, but beyond that there's very little residual incentive. You get the mount that can only be used on one character, and the feat of strength is buried in a sub-menu of the feats of strength. Oh, and I guess technically there's the tabard, but like I only just remembered that, and that's from 2s, and it just, no one cares about the tabard, don't think about the tabard. So, a brutal recognition of current success. This exists in contrast to, say, Arena Master, a title that is permanent, account-wide, and disconnected from the period of time it was earned. It is an acknowledgement of historical success. At some point, this person was good at Arena. It was easier to earn in some seasons than others, and being account-wide, there was no guarantee that the person actually had the experience on the class they were playing. The result is that the title loses a certain something. It's not sexy, not quite like Gladiator is. Or was, I suppose. As you may have gathered, this change is going to make Gladiator a lot closer to Arena Master, and in doing so take a lot of that prestige away. But before we get into that, I do think Blizzard needs to do a better job of incentivizing competitive PvP, and permanent historical rewards are a really good way of doing that. Recently we've seen unique armor sets, weapon enchants, and mounts introduced, and as far as I can tell those have been really effective at encouraging people to get into PvP. But those assets require artists to produce, and they cost money. Admittedly, not as much as they should, but those assets need to justify their investment. So they end up being targeted at a broader audience. Like, you know, the mount is basically a participation award at 1400. The elite set caps out at 1800. By the time we get to 2100, we have a weapon enchant. You can see the scope of development shrinking as we go higher up the ladder until we bump into rank 1 titles at between 28 and 3100 rating. And to me, there is a gap in this reward system around that 2400 mark. And a title makes a lot of sense, like it is the cheapest thing Blizzard could ever produce. It's a literal line of text. Now a seasonal 2400 title will be cribbing awfully close to the rank 1 titles, so to me a permanent title seems like a reasonable solution. Which brings us to what Blizzard has done. Making the Gladiator title permanent and account-wide solves a bunch of real problems with the current reward system for Arena. It pulls Gladiator more into line with the modern reward set for PvP by imbuing it with a bit more permanence. The exercise of getting Gladiator now feels more valuable by giving Gladiator more tangible value. Do I like it though? That's a really hard one to answer. There's a part of me that wants that prestige, right? To just store the corpse of my arena career in the basement and keep cash against welfare checks indefinitely. We probably all have stories of encountering someone in LFG with an old Glad mount, and they're just awful. My worst experience with LFG was with a merciless Gladiator Holy Paladin, not because he was the worst player I ever encountered, but because my defenses were down. Like, he has the text that says he is good at the game, but he's bad. What's happened? What's going on? This change is going to see a lot of people who got Glad once, myself included, wearing it to flex based on long lost ability. And because it's indistinguishable from the real Gladiator, the 2400 in the season, here is your new Gladiator mount reward, it's going to sort of take away from the value of that as well, right? Like, you're going to be lost in a sea of dickheads. Blizzard's presumed intention here is completely justified. There are very real problems with the reward system for Arena that this change would solve. However, I personally would like it if Gladiator itself remained untouched, and we saw another faux Gladiator title step in to serve this role, sort of akin to the Elite X that we saw in BFA. You know, like, I could really go for the Veteran Gladiator as an alternative to what we're looking at on the beta right now. Something that focuses on the history in contrast to the original. Like, I get to be Obi-Wan and the players who are actually good get to be Luke. But what do you think? Are you a Gladiator with opinions on this? Are you 2365 and need that little extra push to get you over the line? Would this do it? This call to action is essential to my survival. God, what if this really was just a bug?